Good morning, everybody. This is the wise, able, disabled guy for the last time. Close your eyes. Pretend this is an audiobook. I am so terrible with the past 40 videos. Hopefully I can be more entertaining than those 40 videos combined. This is the 5 keys of happiness. Happiness, but in a much, much funnier way than any of my previous 40 videos. Entertainment. It's all about entertainment. I knew that, but those 40 videos, ooh, they were dry. They were dry as paint. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna go through the 5 keys of happiness and then illustrate those keys with 3 funny stories. So number 5 is wake up early and go to sleep early. You have so much time to exercise, to meditate, to pray, to read scriptures, to read, to eat breakfast, to stretch, do a myriad of things, and it makes you peaceful and comfortable because you have so much time. 3 funny stories to illustrate this. When I was at Rick's, I had chronic fatigue, and so one day I literally went to bed at 7 p.m., slept that whole day, whole next day, and then I woke up 2 a.m. the following day, so like 30 hours of sleep. So I did go to sleep early and wake up early, but I wouldn't recommend that. 2 is all-nighters. I've tried the all-nighter once as a kid, once as me and my wife had crazy friends that we tried, but unbeknownst to us, we forgot we had work, so that didn't pan out. 3rd story is favorite story of not all times, but a good story. At Rick's College, we're all crazy. We have to own it. That's how we become confident, right? So I own my craziness. So I love pranks. My friend across the room, we were living in a dorm. He loved pranks too, but he loved to sleep in. I woke up at 5:30 each morning. So I had this cock-a-doodle-doo rooster alarm that was so loud. So what I did was I woke up at 5:30, but the morning when I woke up like 20 minutes earlier to put together this prank. So I put peanut butter and jam on his doorknob, put a huge garbage bag on his door, filled it with garbage, put this annoying alarm clock, and then tore off. And that was funny. So number 4 is focus on others, service-oriented. The principle that I can't be me without you, and you can't be you without me. Some stories to help illustrate this is some funny stories. As I'm working, I'm blind as a bat, right? So I say, hello ma'am, good morning sir. And turns out a myriad of times that they're not men or women. They're the opposite sex of what I say. So that's funny. All you have to do is apologize, laugh at yourself, and do better. So another story is with my races, as I'm blind as a bat. So I'm running this half marathon with my family, right? And they have this switchback. So I think my sister's switching back, running towards me. I'm running towards the switchback. So I put out my 5. I'm like, good job, sister, good job. Turns out it wasn't her. It was a complete stranger. Apologize, laugh at yourself, and move on. And then rides. This doesn't happen often, but a few times, because I can't see, I think, I can drive, but I have restrictions. So during those restrictions, I get rides. And a few times, I think I see that person in the car, so I go towards the car. Turns out it's not them. I even opened the door on 1 or 2 of them, I think. Number 3, intent over content. Slow to understand and not quick to anger. Let me repeat. Slow to understand, not quick to anger. What's the intent of the person rather than the imperfect content? So stories to help illustrate this. We were at a couple's home. I held their baby, then I pet their dog, and my mouth and my brain are 2 different paces. And I say, your dog is so much cuter than your baby. Anyone who knows me knows my intent, but my content wasn't there. Another one was, I was at the gym. I saw this lady, older lady, and I said, boy, for How old you are, you have great pace. Apologize, laugh at yourself, do better. Last one, I get used to calling my wife hun. So, because I'm used to it, I call my mom hun number 2, my sister-in-law hun number 3, her husband hun number 4, our friends hun 5 through 10. Funny, apologize, laugh at yourself, do better. Number 2, introduce shame. Shame is secrecy, silence, or judgment. Don't have these. We all have these to some extent, but we all can definitely decrease them. 3 funny stories to help illustrate this is when I was 15, I wanted to be introduced to dancing, so I got Darren's Dance Grooves, R&B dancing that I thought I loved, and I didn't get it. Another one is wedding.com. When I was dating my wife, and a few years before, I'm a sap. And so I was watching this weekly wedding show, and it helped me get ideas, but I introduced myself to it, and I just was sappy then. Another idea is I introduced my wife as we were dating to dominoes, which would have been fine, but these dominoes, I wanted a heat check. I wanted to check when I could kiss her, so I spelled out, will you kiss me, right? So you're weird. You have to own your weirdness to be confident. So I owned it that night, and I probably own it every day. I do. But that was weird. I introduced that. And so, but it helped me along the way. Number 1, what you think matters doesn't really matter. So exercise does not matter. Being right does not matter. Tons of money does not matter. Looks don't matter. Worldly cares do not matter. Perfection does not matter. Pleasure does not matter. Lust does not matter. What matters is sincere love, joy, and being tough, resilient. There are 3 scenarios to be resilient: best case, worst case, and most likely scenario. I'll illustrate that later, but those 3 funny stories to illustrate my number 1 key to happiness is when I was younger, I had a crush on Kathy Ireland. She was a Barbie. I thought that mattered. That doesn't. Also, when I was older, I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had a crush totally crush on the reporter Kathy O'Neill on that show, on that movie. Doesn't matter. She was a Barbie. And last one, when I was living in Pittsburgh, I was living with a friend, and we had to make decisions, and we were both prideful and both wanted to be right. And because of that, I saw this huge hand come across my face. It was probably huge because it was close to my face, but he slapped me because we both thought being right mattered. It didn't. So best case scenario, this becomes a book and successful, and then I'll write other books like Mourn with Those Who Mourn, Don't Compare with Those Who Compare, or The 4 Roots of Frappiness, or Consistent Persistence. Worst case scenario is this is a journal in history for me. Most likely scenario is probably I will write this as a book someday, but it will just be a book of remembrance. This is the last video I will make as the wise, able, disabled guy. Bye-bye.